When it comes to anime that piss me off but were very entertaining each episode, Rumbling Hearts is one of those anime. Now, Rumbling Hearts will show you how dirty your own friends will do you. This anime has best friends backstabbing and going to sleep and steal their man, along with a whole lot of drama and lying. This is an anime that will have you pissed off but will also have you wanting to see what's going to happen next. Now, this anime right here, Rumbling Hearts, is so messy because like it's only 14 episodes, and in these 14 episodes you're gonna have a lot of backstabbing and a lot of shocking moments that are gonna surprise you. And one of the funny things is, if you own this on DVD, one of the things it says on the back is betrayal is a bitch. So you should already know this anime is gonna have a lot of backstabbing and a lot of messiness in it. But yes, let's talk about the story of Rumbling Hearts and like what exactly happens in this anime, and then I'll talk about how I feel about certain things that happen in this anime because there's so much stuff that happens in here. Now, Rumbling Hearts starts off as kind of your stereotypical high school anime where you're just following certain people, but this is when it starts to become different, mainly because we have the main girl. Her name is Haruka, and she has a friend named Mitsuki. Now, when it comes to Mitsuki, she finds out that Haruka likes this one guy named Takayuki, so she ends up becoming friends with Takayuki and Shinji, but along the way becoming like really good friends with them, she starts to catch feelings for Takayuki, but she keeps that in the background because she knows that her friend Haruka is actually in love with this guy. So eventually Takayuki and Haruka are going to start dating, and as they're dating, that's when you're going to have Mitsuki, because now she's starting to trying to get like time from Takayuki, so she'll try and take some of his time away from like when he's supposed to be hanging out with Haruka. So you have that little thing that's happening because like she's trying to just like, oh, be like, yeah, we're so friends, hi, we're friends, but it's just like, nah girl, we know what you're doing. Yo messy ass is trying to still get with him, even though you know damn well if you really did like him you could have been said it, but you know she was trying to be a good friend or whatever. But one of the times that Takayuki has a date planned with Haruka, that's when Mitsuki and him run into each other, and then she gets to talking about like how she wants a gift from him because her birthday's coming soon. But just know something tragic is gonna happen, mainly because Haruka is actually sitting there for a long time. She's just standing at the train station waiting for Takayuki to arrive, and it's honestly been I think like 30 minutes to an hour, and that's when something sad happens and she ends up getting hit by a car. And just know it's very sad because she goes into a coma, but Takayuki ends up showing up late, mainly because Mitsuki ass was over here wasting his time when he should have been going to see her, but you know she had to waste his goddamn time. But he gets there and just know he's very emotional and he's very heartbroken. Just know we're gonna get like a whole backstory on this, like what really he goes through, because trust me, he goes through some shit, and it's really sad because we do get a transition because we see 3 years later, and then we also get to see like what exactly has been happening in them 3 years, because like we have like a crazy transition that just shows him and then like Haruka, and you're just wondering like, whoa, how exactly did we get there? And we get a backstory of what happened. We know essentially, so Takayuki, he becomes very sad and depressed because he feels like this is his fault, because if he would have showed up earlier he could have like stopped this from happening, because they would have actually been on their date and none of this would have happened. So just know he's very sad and depressed, and one of the things that happens is Mitsuki is one of the people that's been taking care of him, and also you have Haruka's sister, her name's Akane. Just know her and Mitsuki are like really cool, mainly because Mitsuki was a swimmer and she was one of the top swimmers, but the reason why she didn't really become like as big as she could have because she was too hung up on boys. But then when it comes to Akane is actually one of these top swimmers that has potential to maybe go to the Olympics and be an Olympic swimmer. So just know they're all super close and they're super cool and all that. And she's like, yo, thank you for always taking care of Takayuki, because she knows that Takayuki is like super sad and all that, and we see that he is, because even when he goes to the hospital you see he's always sad, and even when he looks at Haruka. But just know one day he just can't take it no more, so he goes and grabs Haruka out of her bed and he goes to like run her out the hospital, and that's when her parents catch him and they tell him that they're like, yo, you cannot visit her anymore, because if you're gonna do stuff like this we can't have you risking our daughter's health because of like the state that you're in. So they stop him from coming, and then once that happens he really goes down in spiral and he's super depressed and sad, and that's when Mitsuki there taking care of him, she just can't take it no more. So you know what she decides to do? She takes her shirt off, she shows her chest, and she puts that monkey on him. And then next thing you know, they start dating, and that's when we do get the time skip too, and we just see they've been dating and now they're talking about moving in together. But yeah, it's ridiculous. The one thing she does do is that he actually can start to go back in society, because he does get a job that he has, and he has like somebody there, like this little short head girl that he's always beefing with, and it's just funny because they have little banter. That's the one thing she did, is that she basically essentially just made him actually go back to like how he was before, and he starts to live his life again instead of being hung up on Haruka. So you know, every time there's something good happening in your life, something bad or something from your past could always creep up, and that's what happens in this, because these two, they run into Akane, and just know Akane, she don't f with me Mitsuki at all. She's just like, dog, you disgust me for the shit that you did, betraying my sister, using her trust and all that, and stealing her man. Yeah, she doesn't rock with her at all. So she's just disgusted when she sees them. And Takayuki's looking like, you know, all nervous and shy and all that, because he's just like, you know, they both have guilt, because it's like, you should, because it's like your actual girlfriend is in the hospital in a coma. Yes, you should be able to like maybe quote unquote move on if you really want to, but at the same time, it's just like, it's kind of nasty the way he did, because it's like, you know, with the best friend, but also it's 100% blame on Mitsuki. It's more like 95% Mitsuki than 5% him, mainly because she kind of used him in an emotional state to kind of basically get with him, because that's the person she's always been in love with. So you have that little messiness here, and then what happens is Haruka wakes up from her coma, but she has all her memories from 3 years ago before she got in that accident, so she doesn't know about all these new things that are happening. So like the doctors and her parents, they're slowly but surely telling her some of these things, and she's also seeing people now, because now she wants to see Takayuki. That's when Akane gets in contact with Takayuki, and she's like, yo, Haruka is awake and she wants to see you. So him and Mitsuki, they go to the hospital, they see her. Takayuki is really emotional right now, because we know how he was in the past, and we just see how it is. And like when it comes to Mitsuki, just know she's gonna start feeling a certain type of way, because Takayuki's gonna start going to the hospital to see Haruka, and he's actually spending time with her. And there's no, they're eventually are gonna get in like some big ass fight, because Mitsuki, she gets drunk, and then like she does not really appreciate Takayuki going up there. Mitsuki even goes up there and talks to Haruka, and that's what really causes her to get in like this big old spiral of jealousy and all that, because she can tell that basically Takayuki is still in love with Haruka, so she's feeling very jealous and all that. And those two get into that big ass fight, and that essentially leaves with Mitsuki essentially just leaving, because they have a big old fight and she doesn't come back. So these two are basically just kind of separated in a way, and that's mainly because like on her way home, like she's feeling a certain type of way, because she really doesn't want to go back to the apartment, mainly because like her and Takayuki's type of situation and all that. That's when she runs into two men that knew about her when she was in high school, because they remember that she was a swimmer, and they essentially take her out to the bar. They get her wasted, and I mean wasted, and they're about to seriously take advantage of her. But that's when Shinji shows up, because I forgot to mention Shinji's also another guy that's in this anime, but like he's a friend, he's best friends with Takayuki. So just know he's gonna show up, and he's gonna stop Mitsuki from like doing what she was gonna do, mainly because those two guys were gonna take her back to the Love Hotel and do stuff with her. And the crazy thing is, she did not really care, because at this moment she really wants to be done with Takayuki, mainly because she thinks Takayuki's still in love with Haruka. So she's just like, you know what, I don't care about him no more, I'm gonna go out here and do something with some other people. When it's like, girl, you need to go actually talk to him, instead of, you know, thinking that, oh, I need to get wasted and then maybe get a train ran on me, because that's what it kind of gave off, because the two men were taking advantage of her. But then Shinji does save her, and those two go into the Love Hotel, and Shinji's asking, he's like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, where's Takayuki? That's gonna lead into those two smashing. Yes, those two smash, and then after the next day they get done smashing or whatever, that's when she's like, why did it have to be you, Shinji? It could have been anybody else. Why did it have to be you? And like the whole time I'm just thinking, I'm like, dog, do either one of y'all just think about Takayuki's feelings, especially Shinji, because Shinji is best friends with Takayuki. And like the crazy thing about Shinji is he has his own girl that he's basically been trying to holler at, that's at his college. And it's like, dog, why did you go with this hoe that is essentially spiraling right now, and she doesn't know how to control herself? Like, dog, you already saved her. You could have saved her right there. You did not need to sleep with her. And that's also mainly because he was in love with her in high school. And just know Mitsuki kind of takes advantage of him, because she knew that he liked him back in high school. And she essentially just kind of takes advantage of him, and that's how it kind of leads to them smashing and all that. But like, it's very dumb. At that point, I'm just like, dog, oh my gosh, it's stupid. Eventually, she is going to go home, and that's when she finds Takayuki passed out on the floor. She takes care of him, but then at the same time, she's really trying to leave and be like, yeah, I'm done with this and all that. But yeah, one of the things I do have to mention that I've not mentioned yet that does happen is when it comes to Akane, she just can't take her sister anymore, because like she's tired of her sister, because like she just doesn't like what's really happening. So she tells her sister like what exactly has been going on, and how Mitsuki and Takayuki are dating and all this other. She just says all these different things, and that causes Haruka to go into a coma again. Eventually Haruka does wake back up, and that's when Mitsuki goes to talk to Haruka, and she even tells her, she's like, yo, me and Takayuki are dating, and like after you went into a coma, I always liked them. And that's when Haruka, she slaps the shit out of Mitsuki, and it's so justified. I'm just like, thank you, slap this bitch for the shit she did, because I like this dirty ass hoe. Like, dog, she could have chose anybody else, but had to choose your man while you in a coma. Yeah, so you have that stuff that happens. Eventually Takayuki and Haruka are gonna have a heart-to-heart, because they finally talk at the hospital about like all the things, and she knows like all the things that have happened. And just know Takayuki's gonna essentially realize that he's in love with Mitsuki, and just know Mitsuki standing on top of this hill that has like some type of sentimental value for all of them, because that's a hill they would always all go to, whatever. And he goes there and he essentially just chooses her, and that's who he picks. And majority of people that have watched the anime, they really hate that ending because they're like, dog, why did he have to choose her, who's like a horrible person? But to me, the ending isn't really that bad, mainly because when it comes to Haruka and Akane, both of them achieve what they wanted to achieve. Because when it comes to Haruka, she's always wanted to make children's books, and she actually does make a children's book, and it's a very successful children's book. And also when it comes to Akane, she becomes an Olympic swimmer, and I'm pretty sure she wins a gold medal or anything like that. So it's just like these two achieved their dreams, and it's just like the other two, they can go off and be toxic and bullshit with themselves. So like that's why I kind of do like that ending, mainly because the two sisters actually get to have the better ending in my opinion, where the other two, they basically just essentially get to be miserable with each other. So that's why I kind of like this ending, even though there is an OVA episode that essentially just kind of is like Haruka's route, and you get to see like what exactly would happen if Takayuki just picked Haruka. So there is that one. I like the ending to the show a little bit better than like the OVA, mainly because I'm just like, dog, I like seeing Haruka and Akane actually shining and living out their dreams, instead of showing a different route that shows like what her and Takayuki could have been doing if they actually got back together. I'm just happier with this route a little bit better, because those two got to achieve their dream, where these two over here, they just go live off in their misery and their toxic ass bullshit, whatever. But yeah, for the most part, that's what really happens in the story of Rumbling Hearts, is that you have all this little messiness that happens here, with a woman getting in a coma, then the best friend sleeping and getting with her boyfriend, to the boyfriend going to the hospital doing all this thing, to the sister just can't handle it anymore, just saying everything that's happened, with also Mitsuki going around sleeping with her man's best friend. So there's a lot of little messiness that happens here. But one of the things I think is very wild in this series is when it comes to like the ending. I would just say, because we were just talking about the ending, but one of the key moments that I feel like really didn't, you know, they could have got a little bit more detail about, is mainly because how is Takayuki just gonna accept that Mitsuki went and slept with his best friend, and just like, it's nothing, like, it's okay, he's just at the end, I accept everything. Kind of reminds you of Scumwish when it comes to the teacher, when it comes to like the two teachers, and he's just, even though he knows like the one teacher, she sleeps around with a lot of different men, he's like, dog, I will accept you, I don't care, you can cheat on me. It kind of reminds me of that in a way, but at the same time, I guess this kind of just fits for the ending. But still, I'm kind of just like, wow, I'm like, y'all were tripping. The one thing I will say is I usually like adult romance messy anime, mainly because you can see adults doing adult shit, because a lot of the messiness that happens in here is like adult shit, and I would rather see that than, you know, some like high school ones, because there are high school ones that have like the messiness too, but I'd rather see it in like adults, because for majority of this anime, they are adults. We have the beginning that gives us just a backstory on who these characters are, but then we see them as actual adults, and that's one of the things I do like though. But yeah, if you've seen Rumbling Hearts, let me know how you feel about it. If you've never seen Rumbling Hearts, maybe watch it, especially if you like messy drama romance anime. I feel like this one would be perfect for anybody that likes that, especially if you also like adult messy romance anime, because that's what this is for the most part. It's an adult messy romance anime, and just know those 14 episodes are going to have you on the edge of the seat, mainly because you're going to be pissed off at what Takayuki and Mitsuki are doing, because they be on some bullshit in this anime, especially Mitsuki. She really be on some bullshit, and it'll piss you off, but like, it's actually a really good watch. But I will say, by the end of this, you probably will hate this series because of all the BS that's going to happen, but at the same time, it's a good watch, especially if you're looking for something that's messy, because majority of good messy anime should piss you off with majority of the characters. If you watch a messy anime and you're not pissed off at any of the characters, the messy anime did not do its job. But this one does its job, because it's going to piss you off with so many goddamn characters though. But yeah, if you like me talking about messy anime, how about subscribe to the channel, because I love talking about messy anime, because it's one of my favorite genres, because I just love all the drama, because each episode actually gets really interesting, and I like seeing what all the outcomes of all this messiness happens when it comes to all these messy anime though. But yes, I plan on talking about more and more messy anime. If there's any messy anime that you want me to cover, just put it in the comments though. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike and then subscribe if you really enjoyed. But yeah, Rumbling Hearts is just one of these anime that pissed me off, but at the same time, it was a good messy anime because all the drama and the messiness that was there though. But yes, thanks for watching. I'll see you next video though. Bye.